Now we're doing the review for section 7.3, and we're using the law of cosines, and we've got this triangle. It's a 5, 12, 13, and so let's find the measure of angle B, but we know from the law of cosines that the length B, if we square that, we get B squared equals A squared plus C squared minus 2AC cosine of B. If we isolate B, what we're going to have is B equals the inverse cosine of A squared plus C squared minus B squared over, and 2AC. 2 times 5 is 10, times 12 is 120. So B equals inverse cosine of 144, 12 squared plus 5 squared is 25, minus 13 squared is 169, all over 120. It turns out if you add 144 and 25, you get 169, so we've got 169 minus 169. So we've got B equals the inverse cosine of 0, because 0 divided by 120 is still 0. Well, the cosine of pi over 2, or 90 degrees, is 0. So the inverse cosine of 0 is going to be 90 degrees. So B equals 90 degrees. And we actually knew that from the start because a 5, 12, 13 is a Pythagorean triple right triangle. So now we know that the measure of the angle B equals 90 degrees. Let's find the measure of the angle A using the same process. We need the practice. So A equals the inverse cosine of B squared plus C squared minus A squared over 2BC. So that's going to equal the inverse cosine of 169 squaring 13 plus 25 squaring 5 minus 144 when you square 12 over, and 2 times C is 10 times 13 is 130, and so we get the inverse cosine, and when we do the arithmetic we get 50 over 130, or the zeros divide out, you get 5 over 13, and when you run that through the calculator, what you get is 67.4 degrees approximately. Okay, so that's the measure of angle A. Now, in order to find the measure of angle C, we simply subtract 67.4 from 90 degrees, and we get 22.6 degrees. So now, using the law of cosines, we came up with the measures of the angles. Now we're going to do question 2 for review 7.3. And what we're given that the distance from home plate to the fence in dead center at Oak Lawn Little League Field is 280 feet. Okay? And how far is it from the fence in dead center to third base? So here's what they're talking about. What's this distance? What's this distance here? That's what they want to know. And so now I'll solid this line. Okay. And hint, the distance between the bases in Little League is 60 feet. So this distance is 60. This is 280. The measure of this angle is half of 90 degrees, so that's 45 degrees. So now, and let's call this just distance, or let's call it C. So little c. So C equals, and that's going to be, by the law of cosines, 60 squared plus 280 squared minus 2 times 60 times 280 times the cosine of 45 degrees. And we have to take the square root of all that. And when we do so, we'll get this distance C. And I did that, ran it through the calculator, and wound up getting 241 feet. And I rounded to the nearest foot. So, good.